Hi, I'm Michael Josh, and you're watching GadgetMatch. DJI has been churning out some of our favorite consumer drones for many years now, and it doesn't seem like they show any signs of stopping. The latest in their lineup are the Mavic 2 Pro and Mavic 2 Zoom, and what we have here is the former. And after spending about a month with it, we're now ready to give you our thoughts. Keep on watching, this is going to be exciting. This is our Mavic 2 Pro review. In this review, we won't be wasting your time listing down specs and features. Instead, we'll give you the lowdown on how the Mavic 2 Pro performs in the real world. From a design perspective, it's got some tweaks here and there compared to the original Mavic Pro, but it's still made of the same hard plastic material. The new Mavic 2 Pro is heavier and beefier. It's also got more sensors all around it, which means there's a lesser chance you're gonna hit a wall in your blind spot while on quick shot mode. The Mavic Pro only had front and bottom sensors, leaving the top, rear, and sides vulnerable. The propellers have also been modified and should be way quieter than the previous model. Battery capacity has increased, and of course, the camera itself is now better, featuring a bigger image sensor and a different way of attaching the protective cap. Speaking of the protective cap, DJI has designed it in a way that you insert a hinged part on top of the gimbal to securely lock it in place. The thing is, it leaves these unpleasant scratch marks. It might not affect the drone's performance, but I still don't want my gimbal to be scratched up after a few uses. As for the remote controller, it looks pretty much the same and functions almost the same too, except here on its side, there's now an additional tripod mode, so you can simply change flight modes from sport, positioning, and tripod on the fly. On the Mavic Pro, you still have to go into the app and activate it under flight modes. The joystick on the Mavic 2 Pro also comes off, so it can save more space when packing. The Mavic 2 Pro now has a pair of LED lights on its underbelly to illuminate the ground during takeoff or landing. You see, Kevin, our drone expert, already crashed his old Mavic Pro because it couldn't see where it's landing while shooting at night. Having these bright lights to see where it's landing makes it a lot safer, not just for the drone, but for everyone as well. Additionally, the drone can look up without the risk of seeing the propellers. And say, for example, you want to preview a shot right after you capture it, but the drone is somewhere far away from you, DJI's OcuSync 2.0 comes in handy as it now can transmit images faster, even from far away. And we can vouch for their claims, their modified propellers are indeed quieter than the previous models. DJI says these new propellers also help achieve flight efficiency and ultimately extended flight times. 8 GB of built-in storage is also a welcome addition. During our travels, there was a time when we left our SD card back at our hotel, which is typical, and having internal storage saved us a trip back just to get the card. Just like before, it has its own intelligent flight modes to achieve certain effects on its own, although there are new modes that Kevin has been excited to try since it was launched. This one is hyperlapse mode that shoots a time lapse while the drone is flying. Just set a start point and end point, set an angle for the camera, hit go, and the drone will do the rest for you. How this works is that it basically captures numerous photos and stitches them together to produce a hyperlapse. It's pretty easy to use and you can get amazing footage out of it. In theory, ActiveTrack 2.0 follows a subject and guesses where the subject is going if it, for example, goes behind a tree or any obstacle. During our time with it, we'd say that ActiveTrack 2.0 is a lot better than the previous version, but footage wasn't as fluid as we'd want it to be. There were times that it lost the subject it was tracking when it goes behind a tree, for example, although most of the times it will continue following, but have that slight jerk as you can see in this shot. Check out some of these shots using different intelligent flight modes. In terms of shooting, its 1-inch sensor means it performs better in low light compared to the older Mavic Pro. It's the same size as the one found on DJI's Phantom 4 Pro. Of course, picture quality compared to its earlier model is way better thanks to that larger sensor. And speaking of its sensor, it has adjustable aperture that you can set from f2.8 to f11 depending on lighting conditions. And because of this, it can capture an image with a shallow depth of field like those on DSLRs. Amazing. Another thing we like about the new Mavic is its capability to shoot in 10-bit D-Log. That basically means it has more colors available in its palette and avoids banding or showing evident gradient in the image. What you get is a smoother transition in colors, especially when shooting the sky. Although we noticed that 10-bit shooting produces a little bit of distortion on the edges, which is not something we like. Thankfully, that can easily be corrected in post-production. We also notice that there's digital noise in the darker areas of the image, so you just have to balance the ISO and exposure properly. But overall, it shoots really well in low light conditions. There's also an option to choose between 4K HQ or 4K full FOV. 4K HQ is better quality, but crops the image a bit, about 30%. Meanwhile, 4K full FOV shows a wider view, perfect for landscapes, but at the expense of losing a bit of quality. So be sure to pick your shooting mode depending on the kind of shot that you want to achieve. DJI promises that its obstacle avoidance system is a lot better on the Mavic 2 Pro. So we put it to the test and took it out to an area with trees and different kinds of obstacles and hoped that its avoidance system does what it's supposed to do. We made it follow Kevin as he walked around trees, and the Mavic 2 was successful in dodging branches of trees and leaves while still following its subject. We remind everyone though that obstacle avoidance is there to assist you, to support you, so pilots still need to take extra precaution when they fly to ensure the safety of everyone around them. DJI claims that the new Mavic 2 has a flight time of 31 minutes and is by far the longest in the Mavic lineup. Although these claims are probably achieved while flying in a controlled environment. In real-life usage though, we were able to squeeze in around 24 to 26 minutes of flight time, which is still impressive by today's drone standards. So, is the Mavic 2 Pro your gadget match? Let me start by saying this. While DJI is a company that doesn't really have any close competition in terms of making drones, they still continue to push the boundaries of innovation, creating products that are great year by year. If you're looking for a professional grade quadcopter, then you can choose between this and the Phantom 4 Pro, since you get the same 1-inch sensor plus a bit more stability due to its bigger body. Although, if portability is a major consideration, then the Mavic 2 Pro is the best in the market. Like its predecessor, the DJI Mavic 2 Pro is still the best consumer drone that you can buy today. While it may not be perfect, it comes with a set of features that allow users to shoot cinematic video effortlessly. And for that, it deserves the GadgetMatch seal of approval. And that was our Mavic 2 Pro review. If you like what you see here, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click that bell icon so that you get notified every time we post a new video. Follow us on social media for all the fun stuff, and make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. Until the next video, I'm Michael Josh. Thanks for dropping by.